Welcome to the city of Patras. Patras is more than a city. It is a Mediterranean port, a route, a path where different cultures, people, ideas and artifacts have existed more than 3,000 years. Patra has a continuously being a cosmopolitan center with a multinational character and a great commercial and cultural activity. Patra's important geographical location as a portal from the east to west has determined its history. Moreover, the vast panoramic views sprawling out into the horizon add to the beauty of Patra as well as reveal more of its character. Let's start our walk the route in the city of Patras. A living cultural path through history, stories, monuments and artifacts, through our cultural network entitled Museum Patras Monument, curated by the FRA of Antiquities of Achaia, Minister of Culture, for the celebration of the European Year of Cultural Heritage. Our walk the route will start from the castle, located at its highest point with a magnificent view of the city. During the early Byzantine period, 4th-6th century AD, Patra continues to be a cosmopolitan city even after having a prosperous period as a Roman colony. The castle of Patras is located at the foot of the mountain Panachikos. It was built in the 6th century AD by the Byzantine Emperor Justinian, using building materials from the ancient acropolis of the city, which had been previously destroyed by a powerful earthquake. The castle was besieged and occupied by different conquerors, such as the slaves and Saracen pirates, knights, Venetians and the Ottomans. All conquerors made modifications related to their respective demands. The castle was liberated after the Greek War of Independence with the help of the French General Maison in 1828. It has been under the protection of the Minister of Culture and Sports for the last decades. The castle provides visitors a unique historical experience. In the surrounding area of the castle, a great Roman mosaic floor was found, illustrating Medusa's head. A large collection of Roman mosaic floors from the center of the city is exhibited at the Archaeological Museum of Patras. Back to the Roman period in Patras, the Roman aqueduct was probably built under the Roman Emperor Hadrian in the 2nd century AD due to an increase in the city's population. This important public building is a large-scale construction which supplied the city with water. The transport of water was carried out with pipes, above ground and underground bridges running along a series of archways. The best preserved part of the monument's bridge has a height of 14 meters. Nowadays, the Roman aqueduct is an archaeological site that one can visit and learn about its history. In 2006, during the construction of the peripheral road, a medieval aqueduct was discovered near the Roman one. The monument was built between 15th and 16th century AD and until that time was completely unknown and buried. Due to the unsuitability of its location and the urgent need to continue the road works, a big part of the medieval monument was moved a short distance close to the Roman aqueduct in order to be better preserved, promoted and visitable. The archaeological site has been open to the public since 2017. Our cultural route continues with the old Municipal Hospital, which was founded in Patras in 1857 under the plan of the Danish architect Christian Hansen. It was one of the biggest hospitals in Greece during that period and operated for more than 100 years from 1872 until 1973. Nowadays, it hosts the Museum of Folk Art, workshops, festivals and exhibitions under the cultural organization of the Municipality of PATRAS. The current Orthodox Church of the Pantocrator in Patras is a Byzantine-type cathedral. During the Venetian period, Francesco Morosini renamed it as the San Marco Cathedral, and during the Ottoman period, it was transformed into a mosque, a place of worship for Muslims. In the same area, an excavation of 52 tombs brought to light one of the earliest cemeteries of the Christian period, around 3rd century AD. After the liberation of Patras in 1828, it returned to be again a sacred Orthodox temple. According to Pausanias, Patras Odeon was the most stunning Odeon in Greece after the Odeon of Herodotus Atticus in Athens. It was probably built in the 2nd century AD. In 1889, a surprising discovery occurred during excavations to transfer material to the old port of Patras. Its restoration was completed many years later with the contribution of architect Vasiliou. It comprises the basic part of the theatre: the kilo, the orchestra, the scene and the so-called parody. Its architectural structure is identical to the Odeon of Herodotus, but on a smaller scale. During the Roman period, music events and performances took place there. Today is a popular cultural site in Patras, where festivals, concerts and theatre take place. Next to the Roman Odeon is St. George Square, where it is said that the flag of the Greek War of Independence was raised by the fighters of Achaia 200 years ago in 1821. On the south side of the square, neoclassical type monuments were built by wealthy merchants of the 19th century. Also, during the Roman period, in the same area, the so-called ville urbane were built. An example of this typical Roman luxury townhouse in Patras was found in Germanou Street and today can be seen at the Archaeological Museum. Close to the Roman Odeon, in the heart of the city, one can see part of the Roman Stadium, an important public building for city's entertainment. It was built during the Roman period between the 1st and 2nd century AD. The stadium is partly rebuilt and was the venue for various athletic and artistic events, among them the so-called Caesaria, which were spectacles performances from the empire. Certain archaeological findings confirm that gladiators' battles were also held there. Pausanias does not mention the word stadium, but the word theatre. The discovery of a statue of Nemesis near the ruins of Stadium raises the possibility of a temple dedicated to the goddess Nemesis, the personification of justice. Both the Roman Odeon and Stadium and a series of finds such as theatre masks, mosaics, musical instruments are now part of the permanent collection of the Archaeological Museum of Patras and are evidence of the long-lasting musical and theatrical tradition of the city for over 2,000 years. A multicolored mosaic floor from the permanent exhibition collections of the museum illustrates the artistic and athletic contests that were held in Patras during the Roman period. Entertainment has always played a vital role in the life of the citizens of Patras. Attached to the Roman Stadium is the Church of Padanesa, built in 1847 on a small church dedicated to Madonna that pre-existed. The name of the church is due to the finding of the icon of the Virgin of Padanesa, which according to tradition is said to have been found in a special crypt in the basement of the temple. The design of the church has obviously neoclassical influences. Since 1996, it has been a protected monument by the Ministry of Culture, as the church is considered to be a great model of modern architecture. The central square of Patras is named after King George and was created during the 19th century under the governance of Ioannis Kapodistrias, and the city plan was made by Stamatis Voulgaris. Their vision was to rebuild and transform the center of Patras. The plan included the development of the new city next to the old one that had been destroyed during the Greek War of Independence. In 1875, two magnificent fountains were placed as monuments. The neoclassical theatre named Apollona is situated in the same square. The public building of the Apollo Theatre in the square is a work by the famous German architect Ernest Tiller, a great designer of royal and municipal buildings in many Greek cities during 19th century. Made of stone from Trieste, railings from England, statues from Vienna and marble from Livorno and the Ionian Islands, it is a small-scale copy of the Scala in Milano. It is a great monument of Patras and a characteristic example of the neoclassical architecture of the city. Its colors and decorative elements are inspired by antiquity. In 1872, it was accomplished through crowdfunding by the citizens of Patras. The imposing neoclassical building, which originally belonged to the wealthy family of the raisin merchant Ioannis Makrigiannis, has been the city hall of Patras since 1897. Inside the building there are many works of art by the native painter Epaminondas Thomopoulos, who drew his inspiration from the rich history of the city. The courthouse of Patras is a beautiful neoclassical monument in the heart of the city. It has been recently renovated, and a small archaeological exhibition inside the courthouse was inaugurated with copies of findings and artifacts from the Archaeological Museum. The old church of St. Andrew was built between the years 1836 to 1843 on a part of a Roman public building. It is a three-aisled basilica and the work of the architect Lysandros Kaftagioglu. The new cathedral of the St. Andrew was founded in 1908. It is a green Byzantine-style church, a place for Christians from all over the world, an important landmark of Patras, and the largest church in Greece. Kostis Palamas, the famous poet of the Olympic anthem of Olympic Games, was born in Patras in 1859. His house is a well-preserved neoclassical monument in the central part of the city, where the Italian novelist Matilde Serao was also born. The Ministry of Culture declared it as a historical monument in 1983. It is an architecturally remarkable two-story building with a simple neoclassical form and an interesting arch on the ground floor. Recently, it has been transformed into a cultural center, Kostis Palamas, and it is open to the public. The Metropolitan Cathedral, Evangelistria, is one of the first public buildings in the new city after the liberation of Patras from the Ottoman Empire in 1828. The church is classified as a neoclassical building of Belle Epoque. The church was founded in 1842 and inaugurated in 1846. The structure of the roof, made of wood of Trieste and Venice, was said to be prepared by Ernest Schiller. During the 19th century, there was an increase in the Catholic population of Patras due to its commercial and cultural activity. Foreign diplomats, merchants, Italian fishermen and Maltese lived in the city. The ever-increasing number of people during that period required the construction of this beautiful Catholic church, the foundation stone of which was laid in 1838 and was completely rebuilt in 1937. The Lighthouse of Patras is in the north part of the city. The lighthouse is an ambassador of the city's cultural heritage. It is considered as a landmark that highlights the Mediterranean character of the city and a very significant port with an important naval cultural identity. The lighthouse is a copy of the original lighthouse built in 1858 and is now a new monument of the city. The Archaeological Museum of Patras is a public museum directed by the Ephorate of Antiquities of Achaia, Ministry of Culture and Sports. Its collections are rich in Mycenaean and Roman antiquities, highlighted by the emblematic collections of mosaics and glass, the largest in Greece. With the mosaic collection taking center stage, a very spacious and modern building of innovative design was built in 2009 in order to host and promote those unique finds. During the last years, the Archaeological Museum of Patras has been trying to develop a coordinating strategy in order to make its collections more accessible to the public and engage demanding target groups of visitors.